And then I'm not sure if it was after that the Loui Eriksson hit, which I mean, it seemed like it could have been a good hit, right? I mean, had you not been so much bigger than him and, and followed through, but it seemed like it could have been, right? I mean, it just
I thought it was a great
unfortunately,
hit.
yeah,
But it's one of those things he admired his dump in. I'm like, you can't
yeah,
be doing that, Louis. You
Can't.
got to
no,
keep your head up, man. And it wasn't late. It's not like it was like 1, 2, 3, 4,
I
then
agree.
hit. It
Yeah,
was like 1.5, and I buried him. Like just crushed him. I was bigger. His head hit my shoulder, and it just before this was the same season as the Phil Kessel thing.
Oh.
And
Okay,
so
right.
after the Kessel thing, I had talked to Brendan Shanahan. He called me right after, the next day or even that night. And he said, John, I can't suspend you because you didn't do anything technically, but I want to suspend you. And I was like, okay, this is strange. This is a weird call. And he's like, so just make sure you keep it clean. And it's funny, Pronger was a player safety guy too. And he even like made a
I
point.
know.
His first year, he came and visited me and sat me down in Arizona. He's like, you cannot do anything wrong this year. I'm going to suspend you right away. I have to. So they were looking to suspend me, and Shanny told me after the Kessel thing. And so I knew right away I was getting a big number. And so after the Eriksson hit, I go to New York, in-person hearing, and he's like, well, what do you think? What's your number? What do you think it should be? And I was like, it's 0. Like, I think it was a fine hit. He just has to protect himself. And the funny thing was, this is in New York City, NHL offices. Everybody's there, all their lawyers, and it's me and my GM. And he goes, oh, yeah? Well, how would you feel to be Loui Eriksson right now, laid up? And I go, I actually wouldn't mind it. Doesn't he make like $7 million?
Yeah.
He like slams his hand on the desk. You think this is a game? You think this is funny? I'm like, you asked me a question, Shanny. The guy makes $7 million for 7 years. I would switch positions with him right now. He's like, real funny. And he like storms out of the room. And I ended up getting 7 games. And it was just first defense, 7 games, just a complete joke. But that all stemmed from the Kessel thing, because he said, I'm getting you. You're going to get it this year at some point. So I think if I don't jump Kessel, I don't get anything. Maybe 1 or 2, just because it was the Bruins. They're a big team, and Jeremy Jacobs is just Bettman's best friend. So, but yeah, funny story. Small world.
Shanny wasn't an angel.
No,
when
yeah, he was
played.
no
I
angel.
mean,
No.
and obviously neither was Prongs. Like he was.
And
Yeah, I
then
know, right?
Georgie Peros too. I don't know
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
the
I
deal.
know, right?
It's like, Riley, you should be next. Like, it's just I
know,
don't
right?
understand the reasoning that goes into these player safeties guys. It just okay. Like Mike Milbury will be the player safety guy next. It's so dumb.
You think Mike Milbury had anything to do with that suspension?
I don't like Milbury either. I think he's like a douche. He just
This guy
chirped
hit
me
a
for
guy
no
with a
reason.
shoe in the stands.
Yeah. But
I
then he's
know,
calling me a goon and bad for the game. I'm like, you were the worst GM in NHL history. You jumped in the stands and beat somebody up with a shoe, and now you're throwing stones at me, Mike? Like, let's take it easy.
Ridiculous.
It's
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
So,
he was
anyways.
he was all over you before the game even started, so that was just more ammo.
Yeah.
Like he just useless, unnecessary comments.
One of the worst moments of my life is they have the TV on in the locker room before the All-Star game, and there's 2 teams dressing in there because 2 in one room, 2 in the other. And they have his broadcast up, and he's just ripping me. And all these guys are sitting there. I'm trying to tie my skates, and he's like, John Scott sucks. He doesn't belong here. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so uncomfortable. Why are we watching this? It's so bad.
An All-Star
So
game.
uncomfortable.
And I'm just like not looking up because everybody's staring at me. I'm just like, oh man, let's just get this over with. It's so funny.
That's when the equipment guys gotta hit the mute button.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
who was in your room, and I gotta get on.
It was Partner in Nashville.
Partner.
Oh, partner,
But
right?
Might be.
Partner's not.